Okay, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine a situation where your own health or the health of someone you love depends entirely on an object that's designed to be perfectly identical to millions of others. This isn't just a thought experiment, it's the reality of the pharmaceutical world. And it creates a huge, huge security challenge. And the stakes here are incredibly high. I mean, in some parts of the world, it's estimated that as much as 10% of all pharmaceuticals on the market could be counterfeit. Think about that for a second. 1 in 10. That's a massive number, and it represents a direct and really dangerous threat to patient safety. So this gets us to the absolute core of the problem we're talking about today. When you've got 2 medicine packages, or 2 security seals, or even 2 actual pills that are visually indistinguishable, how on earth can you tell the real one from the dangerous fake? This is what's known as the look-alike drug problem. You see, in manufacturing, making everything identical is usually the whole point, right? But for security, that's a nightmare. It creates this massive vulnerability, because when everything looks the same, the fakes can just hide in plain sight. But here's where it gets really fascinating. While these products are made to look identical to our eyes on a macro level, if you zoom way, way in on a microscopic level, their surfaces are totally unique. Seriously, it's kind of like the random grain in a piece of wood. No 2 patterns are ever exactly the same. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, don't we have barcodes and holograms and stuff for this? And yeah, you're right, we do. But the thing is, they have a fundamental flaw. A flaw that counterfeiters have gotten really, really good at exploiting. See, here's the issue. A barcode is just information. It can be copied and slapped on a million fake boxes. A hologram, it can be faked and faked pretty convincingly. The critical point to get here is that these methods, they just add a layer of information onto an object. They don't secure the physical object itself. Anyone can copy the label, but they can't copy the object's unique physical soul. And that leads us to a completely new way of thinking about this. What if, instead of adding a security feature that can be copied, what if we could find one that's already built right into the object? Something that's literally impossible to duplicate. And that, right there, is what we call a physical fingerprint. It's an identity that's not printed on or stuck to an item. No, it's pulled directly from those random microscopic textures that just naturally happen when something is made. It's the item's own unique built-in ID card. This is the real aha moment. True identity isn't found in the parts that are supposed to be the same, the parts that are perfect. It's found in the tiny accidental imperfections, the little random swirls and grains and bumps that make each and every object one of a kind. The system isn't looking for what's common, it's hunting for what's unique. Okay, that's the big idea. But how do you actually take this invisible physical texture and turn it into something useful? Like a secure digital ID you can just look up in a database? Well, it's a pretty cool 4-step process.
First up, a totally standard camera takes thousands of tiny measurements of the surface. Then, the system maps out how all those little measurements build up the pattern. It's actively looking for the unique bits. Third, all those details get bundled up into a complex digital signature. And finally, that big signature gets combined into a single unique fingerprint.
Now, of course, for a system like this to actually work out there in the real world, it can't be fragile. It has to be tough, it has to be reliable, and it's got to be able to handle millions and millions of products without breaking a sweat. And this is what makes the technology so powerful. It just works. Even if you're using different cameras or the lighting isn't perfect, it can handle minor scratches and scuffs on the packaging. And this is crucial. It gives you a clear, definite yes, this is the real deal, or no, it's not. There's no maybe, no guesswork. So let's be absolutely crystal clear about what's happening. The system isn't learning to recognize what a pill bottle looks like in general. No, it's verifying whether the bottle you're holding in your hand is the exact same physical item that was scanned in the factory. It's a one-to-one identity check, not just a category match. When you have a technology this fundamental, its impact goes way beyond just one industry. It really starts to change how we think about trust itself, especially in the physical world. I mean, the benefits are enormous. For all of us, it means real patient safety, knowing the medicine you're taking is genuine. For companies, it's about protecting their brand from being destroyed by counterfeiters. And for the global economy, this means securing our incredibly complex supply chains from all kinds of fraud. So if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this key idea. we are seeing a complete shift in how we think about security. We are moving away from a world where identity is just asserted by some flimsy, copyable label to a world where identity is measured directly from the unchangeable physics of the object itself. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We've been focused on medicines, but just imagine this capability applied to, well, everything. What would a world look like where any physical object, from a luxurious watch to a critical part on an airplane, could instantly and without a doubt prove its own authenticity? The possibilities are just transformative.